personnel on certain days.
Okay.
So if you're sick on one day and it's not your day to go, then you just have to wait until your time. Unless you are really just really down and out and ill, that's the only way it's an emergency that they would see. So you just have to fill out a medical cop out and you would
A
get a
cop
chance to
out.
cop out. Yeah, that's just a
Isn't that
request.
what they call
That's
it?
what
A
they
cop
call
out.
it. It's just basically a request to seek medical attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what if I'm gonna back up a little bit. If you're sick on a Monday, now are there certain days that you say you could be?
Well, yes. The prison is divided into two separate institutions. Basically, you have what they call a red side and a blue side. So on the red side days might be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the blue side days might be Mondays and Wednesdays, whatever. So, and on those designated days are the days that when you're supposed to basically uh, seek medical attention. So now there are times when you might get sick on the day it's not your day, so you kind of playing hard up. So
that is just not right.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do? Suffer until it's your day?
That's basically the way it works out. So
see, that needs attention. That right there is a part of the reform that we're talking about. That is a part of the prison reform that needs to be addressed. Because if a person doesn't get the proper attention, they could die before it's their day. We hope that never happens, but that is possible. So that's where our congressmen and our senators and our lawmakers need to be informed. And it is up to us to make those phone calls, to petition for those prisoners, to call, to let our voices be heard. That is inadequate medical treatment in the prison system. Okay? That's why we are discussing prison reform, sentencing reform, and criminal justice reform. Okay? Just because of what John just said about the medical treatment in the prison system. That is a shame, and I don't like it. And I know the families of the prisoners don't like it. It is not right. So, listening audience, you have a job to do along with me. And that is, as I stated, we've got to get on the phone and contact our local congressional lawmakers. That is what has to happen to bring about change and to bring about reform.
And one of our guests later on is going to speak on this same issue because her father was incarcerated, and he so happened, to pass away before he was released. And she would speak more on this issue, in terms of what she had to go through in order to seek medical attention for her father. And she will be coming on later on and speak on this issue.
And yes, we're looking so forward to hearing from Sister Nadira and David Muhammad in just a moment. John, are you in contact with any of the inmates? You know how they're doing, how they're handling COVID? I mean, you've not lost anyone or any of your friends, right?
No,
or have you?
Constantly in contact with several of the guys. That's always keeping me informed on what's going on with them and the conditions inside the prison. Just the other day, I got a letter from a good friend of mine, and he was telling me about the COVID situation in there right now and how the prison has been basically locked down 24 hours a day. So they haven't been coming out on a regular basis like they've normally been doing. So they went from 1 hour a day for showers or what have you, until to a half an hour a day. And they was telling me that for 3 weeks, they were completely locked down.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So in a situation like that, they would bring them out only for showers. You know, no telephone, no anything, no contact with lawyers, anything like that. So, and also they was they was telling me that one of the officers who worked in the kitchen came in and was tested positive for the COVID virus. And just so happened that this unit where my friend is, and several of the guys at where I used to live, okay, they it's the kitchen unit. It's the unit where all the kitchen personnel work. So they sent everybody into a panic because the officer that come in and out, go in and out every day, brought the COVID virus into the system. And that's basically how it gets in. It's not the inmates that bring it in. It's the officers that bring it. The inmates, once they are transferred from prison to prison now, they are quarantined for 14 days prior to them ever coming in contact with anybody on the compound. So they would know if it was somebody that was being transferred in, whether or not they have COVID. But it's the officers that are bringing the COVID into the prison system. And that's something that needs to be addressed.
And you know, the same situation with the nursing homes, the elderly that's in the nursing home, the aides, the LPNs, the RNs, the doctors, the nurse practitioners, all those individuals are the ones that are bringing the virus into the facilities. They're bringing the virus into the nursing home facilities. So it's the outside individuals that are bringing it in. But thank God we have something on the way now. There's hope on the way. We have a vaccination. Yes. And the nursing homes will be getting that first. They are being taken care of. I know we have a family member that's in a facility, and they wanted one of the family members to sign off to see if it was okay for that family member to go ahead and be vaccinated. So that's a very, very good thing, a very good thing. All right, we have Nadira and David Muhammad with rebuilding the Black family, repairing the Black family. David, Naira, are you here?
Yes, we are. Thank you so much for having us. Yes. We're excited.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, yes. And once again, John and I sincerely apologize about what happened last week. Technical difficulties sometimes are beyond our control because, you know, so much happens up there in cyberspace that we're not always able to control. So I thought I owed it to you guys again to bring you back on today to make up for what happened last week.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We are definitely honored and excited to be here on this in this beautiful space, sharing space with you all, sharing thoughts, ideas, decisions, you know, taking action and what needs to be done to make our community a decent and better place to live. So thank you so much for having us. And again, we are just very honored and humbled.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you. You know, I remember hearing you guys say that you all went to London, and I think you said you were going to go to Africa twice, but I think COVID may have derailed the trip to Africa. Tell me a little bit about your trip when you went to London. How did that come about? Did someone invite you or introduce that to me, please?
Yes, ma'am. We were certainly invited. There are different organizations who do contact us to come and put on our seminar, which is also called Repair of the Black Family. So when they reach out to us, they just make the arrangements along with us, and we go up there and we scope out the city, of course, and just find what is necessary to share as far as news to help repair and call the people together to come in and be a part of our message.
While offering, I would say, innovative strategies that people can take to improve communication, improve their lifestyle, improve their marriages, how to deal with their children, how to cope and deal with stress, how to deal with anxiety. So, the different things that we face as a culture, pointing out some of our historical facts, things that has happened to us that we still may be experiencing in a modern day time. However, to be able to look at these things and then, come to effective ways to come through it and overcome it. Because the whole thing is, what do we need and what's needed and wanted to be able to help bring back the family structure. When we look into our culture, we can definitely see that we are people, and it's been passed down for generations after generations, where the family structure has been tampered with. So our goal and our desire is to be, first and foremost, to set a good example, to be that which we preach, right? And I can truly say, I thank God that we've been married for 22 years, not just married, but happily married, by using our own effective strategies, raising our 5 children. Now we have 6 grandchildren, 2 on the way. So we strive to be an example of that, which we're bringing to the families.
What I would like to ask you is, when you say the breakdown or the repair of the Black family, so somewhere in there, you know what I'm saying, there's a breakdown. At what point have you pretty much pinpointed whereas the family seems to break down?
Well, for myself, I always like to take our culture back on a historical track. Okay, so when we go all the way back and you start just looking at our sojourn over here through the transatlantic slave trade, then we look at when we arrived here through the Willie Lynch letter, and what transpired with that. Okay, so we have to first get culturally indoctrinated of what was the struggle and what is the struggle now. So now that we established the base of the historical fact, let's look at now some of the family structures. We see that the fathers are not in the home. Most time they're not in the home because we pass down generational poverty from mindsets, because the women we most of us, we get on systems that will help aid us, that will keep the man out of the house, like welfare, Section 8. These things actually condition us to take the family structure apart. So we help us to rehabilitate those things, being, okay, so just going back to generational gaps, not knowing how to communicate. Most parents, we talk at our children, we don't talk with them.
Right.
So we don't understand the coping strategies on how to communicate in the household. So that's a family breakdown. And you may even have mothers, teenage pregnancy, teenage parenting. I was a teenage mother. My mother was a teenage mother. So therefore, we passing these things down, either aware or unaware. So once we can start to go back and look into how we got this place, then we got to be willing to accept responsibility. And now we can begin to change the thinking pattern to be able to repair the Black family. So there's so many different ways we can look at the family structure and see what's not there, but definitely being able to bring back the mindset of the mother and father coming together to establish a healthy family structure.
Well, I like to speak on behalf of my family. I was really raised in a great family. My mother instilled in us some of the highest values, that one could instill in their children. And along the way, somewhere, the breakdown with me, and getting separated from my family in terms of taking a wrong direction. It had a lot to do with just being in a situation where you just thrown into a predicament where the family is just not there the way they used to be. And sometimes, a child get to a certain age, I say an adolescent, where you you fall up under the peer pressure. And up under this peer pressure, you tend to lean more towards your friends than you do towards your family. And if a mother or father is not conscious of what's going on in their child's life, they would lose their child to those friends and whom they chose to be with. And if they're not the right people, then they're going to lose those people, to
the street and their other peers.
I totally agree with you, and that's where it comes with the communication,
right.
The communication gaps in the family. So that is one aspect, and I can truly say, our parents do the best that they can do under whatever condition and circumstances that they are under. It's no means of judgment, but when we look at, as you stated, you was raised in a very good family structure, and you was raised with your parents doing the best that they can do, even under strenuous situations. As when I came up, my parents still did the best that they knew how to do with us, but there were still some voids there. There were still some things that I was unfulfilled in that my friends was able to provide that my parents couldn't provide. And sometimes that's where I see teenage, or my experience has been just my experience, which is very limited, right? But my experience has been that 9 times out of 10, we go to our friends, or our children go to our friends, because they are going to fulfill something that's already in us. And they just present it, and it brings it out of us. Something that our parents may not know that was there, or we didn't even know that it was there. It's called temptation. You see? So it takes us away. I have come to learn this. So teaches the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that environment is stronger than heredity. So the environment that you are in can be stronger than your upbringing. That's another gap.
Nadir and David, I think you all are doing such a wonderful, awesome, phenomenal thing that is needed. When I first heard about what you guys were doing, and when I heard the name, I'm like, that is right on it. That is what they say, spot on, that is it. Repair the Black family. That's what needs to happen. And I just congratulate you all and commend you for doing what you're doing. And the fact that you said you've been married for 22 years, 5 children, 6 grandchildren, and 2 on the way. Oh my God. You don't look like it. I thought you guys were in your 20s. Oh, you guys look so good. And the wonderful thing, Nadira, you said you guys were not just married for 22 years, but 22 happy years, a happy marriage. I applaud that.
Thank
you.
Because
I have a happy marriage as well.
Yes.
And it means a lot to not be in something with someone just to do it. Just because you don't want somebody to say, oh, I knew it wasn't going to work. Or, oh, they're having some hard times. They're just staying together.
Right.
Girl, they're having a rough time over there. You know, do it because, vows do mean a lot. But some people don't care anything about vows. And sometimes people will stay in a marriage simply because they made vows. Right. Not because they're happy. Not because they love being around their spouse, or their spouse loves being around them, or that's their soulmate. And I must say, we always talk about men. We always bash our Black men. I don't believe in that. I believe in raising them up.
There you go.
Yes, that's right.
Give them their props.
That's right.
Of their struggle.
That's right.
And because of slavery, and because how the mind has been damaged so much. So, that's what we're for, the helpmate. We're that other half that needs to lift up.
That's right.
And bring about a home. So, Nadira and David, I know what you're doing, and I think it's a wonderful thing, but can you tell our listening audience can you just give me the gamut of everything that you guys do? Like if I had a brochure, I mean, would it say we do holistic medicine, natural medicine, seminars? Just kind of give me some bullet points.
Well, David, you have something going on Saturday, right? That's with the same issue about the black man. Could you speak on that a little, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much for asking. So just to address the list first, and to answer your question, Ms. Tangela, one of the things that we do is from a physical standpoint of the body, we do address certain things with natural herbs. And the reason why we do that is because, of course, our Black community is somewhat plagued with conditions that exist amongst us and that have to be corrected. So we find that too is a very important aspect to repairing the Black family. As well, we do address mentally, right, our ills as it relates to our condition as Black people, right? Things that have not been addressed per se, well, at least not from a holistic perspective in some instances. And so that too needs to be addressed. And then, of course, there is, from the spiritual perspective, where we definitely address that area as well, because some of us don't know the difference and or can't see the difference just due to our own lack of knowledge, where spirituality and or from the spirit is where we aren't really putting too much attention on. And two, our spirit can be plagued with ills. Also, so what we do is we have life coaching, right? And we just address the person and their need, whatever is needed and wanted. And we have inspirational meetings and or inspirational talks where we just really get to know the person and get into just a real good talk to make us aware of where they are in life and what is needed and wanted so that we can address that as well. And of course, we have our seminars and workshops where we do teach. It just depends. And we also have marriage counseling, but we do address from the community perspective what we could do better with what we know and what we have practiced and have been taught. Oh, yes. And from the program that's going to be happening on Saturday, this Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, is just as you just mentioned, Ms. Tangela, where the Black man has somewhat been written off as no good. And we really have to correct that particular idea. But two, for the Black man, we have to create a space of healing. And because there is a stigma amongst Black men where, we have to be strong, don't cry, puff out your chest, always be the man. That sort of mentality has made us to ignore certain conditions in our life that is there, it's present. And it prevents us from being not just in touch spiritually, but also in touch physically, emotionally, right? And we are not well all the time as men, so it inhibits our function. It inhibits our relationships with our wives, our spouses. It inhibits our relationships with our children. And one thing that I definitely like to say is, in order to have a healthy community, we have to repair the Black man and put him back in the community as a healthy man so that we can correct the wrongs and be more supportive, more responsible, and accessible to our families and community.
And the word repair, I tell you, and David, you have just been such in from on the outside now. I'm not there with Naniera, but it seems as if you have just been an impeccable example of what that is, an impeccable example, because you kept your family together for 22 years, and that is very, very important. And that goes a long way.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much.
And Miss Tangela, if I may say something, when it comes to the repairing of the Black family, we recognize and we help our clients to recognize that it's an individual work first and then a collective work simultaneously. But you got to be, the key word here is willing to face some things in our lives that we haven't faced. Willing to confront, be willing to re-experience some things, and then come through the healing process, because many of us don't recognize when we're in a healing crisis, when from that spiritual standpoint that God is trying to get our attention, okay? Then we got to be willing to confront some things and then be willing to change some things. Sometimes we get comfortable with saying, like, I've been this way and I'm not changing. But in the dispensation of time that we're in, there are some things that we have to be willing to look at and be willing to change on an individual basis, and then change, with the family, and set goals individually, set goals as a family, and know that we are in a healing process. And I'm very grateful for my husband in his process to work on himself. Because as he worked on himself to be the man that God wants him to be, then he can be the man that I need him to be. And that's the family structure. It's really divinity. When we look at the family structure, the structure is already in the Bible. Where it talks about in 1 Corinthians is God, Christ, man, then woman. But we have to be obedient to the structure, which means we're being obedient to God. And as long as we can do that, then we can really step into our real power. And that power is being in the proper roles, and understanding that I don't have to give up who I am to be a woman of God, but to be his wife, right? And he doesn't have to give up who he is to be a man of God and to be my husband. It is a team effort. We're bringing back a unit, the family unit.
That's right.
So it's really about language, understanding the context in which language is used, and then being able to facilitate our own healing process. And that's where our life coaching come along, because in life coaching, the coach, a good coach, is going to help you to find the areas that you desire to be helped in, and then to help you solve your own problem by pushing you towards your success or your healing or whatever it is that you desire to accomplish.
That's right.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're going to have to wrap this up because we have another guest here. And I want to thank both of you all, David and Naniera. And when you said something earlier about, I'm not sure if we're hearing each other. Oh, okay. All right. You said something earlier about the Willie Lynch letter. And it reminds me, of course, I'm very familiar with the Willie Lynch letter because I used to sell so much of that, not only in the book form, but it's also in a picture form, any size, 18 by 24. And I'm going to read the Willie Lynch letter one day on one of the shows.
Awesome.
So those of you all who don't know what that means, I will be reading the Willie Lynch letter to inform you. Naniera and David, the Bible says, for lack of knowledge, our people perish.
That's
So
right.
because of you guys, we're not going to perish. You all are providing the information. You have the information out there. And you can go to their website and give them a call, ask them to consult with you, purchase their products. They are available for seminars, conferences, whatever you need them to do. Repair the Black Family, repairtotheblackfamily.com. Go online, take a look at it. Nadira, we're going to wrap it up. We'll let you give your phone number, and then we'll introduce our next guest.
Absolutely. So it's www.repairtheblackfamily.com. You can contact us there. Our phone number is 727-623-5555. Tomorrow, for the women, I have a free life coaching session. So if you're interested in that, email us at repairtheblackfamily@gmail.com. Put free life coaching. repairtheblackfamily@gmail. Okay. And put free life coaching and be a part of the free life coaching. Get an experience with us. And then my husband has that 100 Black Men, Let's Talk About Healing that is on Eventbrite. Thank you so much. We really appreciate being here in this space, sharing time, sharing space, sharing thoughts and ideas. We love you all, and may God continue to bless us and strengthen us to repair the Black family.
Right,
and we will be talking with you all again later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a commercial now before our next guest. We're going to take a break.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station.
On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
Welcome back to Our Voices. With me, my name is Tangela Murph-Bailey, and
John Bailey. Wake up, everybody.
thank you so much. Before I move on, I'd like to welcome Rashida Strober. Are you here, Rashida? Rashida? Okay. Our next guest, we're holding for Rashida Strober. She is the author. Rashida, are you here? I want to tell you a little bit about Rashida. I don't know what's going on. But Rashida Strober is the world's first dark-skinned activist. She's the creator of dark skin activism, which focuses on colorism and the new paradigm of darkism. She created the movement in 1998. She holds a master's degree from the University of South Florida and has written more books on darkism and colorism than anyone else in the world. One of her books includes Darkism and Token Dark Girl. Her website is darkskinactivist.com. She has about 3 different books. She does a 1-act presentation. She is for hire. She travels the world doing her 1-act presentation. She has been here locally at University of South Florida. She has been in the St. Petersburg Times. She has done a lot of local things. I know she's done things in Atlanta, in the northern area. And I hope Rashida is here with us and can tell us a little bit more about her book. Rashida Strober. Rashida? I don't know if Rashida is having a problem coming onto the line. Rashida Strober. I'll continue to talk a little bit about her book. It was written because of the color of her skin. Well, I don't know. Rashida? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to talk, I'm going to go back to John. And John, we're going to talk a little bit more until we can figure out what's going on with Rashida. Prison reform. And the last time you spoke with some of your friends, I know you told us about the amount of time that they were not allowing you 1 hour, but 30 minutes.
They changed the conditions. They changed the time from the 1 hour out of the day to 1/2 hour. For what reason, it wasn't relayed to me, but I just assumed that because it's just running into a problem, trying to get everybody 1 hour of service per day. And being the fact that there are 128 people in one unit, and they're only allowing now 10 people per day, per hour, to take care of the showers and do the other small things that they need to do, like talk on the telephone to their families, or use the computer to contact their lawyers or what have you. The time, they might have ran into a time frame where it wasn't giving them the proper time to take care of everybody in one day. So,
in touch, I understand that Rashida is holding. Rashida has been holding. Can you all please bring her on? Yes, we're holding for Rashida. I understand she's been on the line. Rashida, are you able to hear me? The station, you all need to answer Rashida, please.
But I was talking about the fact that there's not much time for anybody to do anything in 1 hour, in a half hour, let alone an hour. So the people there now, from what they contacted me and let me know, is that it's just really a hard situation to deal with, mentally, and physically. So something needs to be done, hopefully, with the new vaccines coming out, maybe this would alleviate the problem that they're having within the system somewhat. And another one of the questions that they were asking me was, what was everybody out here saying, or what were their feelings about the COVID, the vaccine? Did they trust it? Were they willing to take it? And if so, who would be the first people, in the area to take it?
Yeah, that's a question. I know they have their order of how it's going to be passed out, but everybody's just not willing to do it. And on the show, we will have a professional that will come on and let us know why people are hesitant to take the virus, the vaccination. And statistics are showing that African Americans are more hesitant than Hispanics, than whites in terms of taking the vaccination. I do think it is a good thing, but you just don't want to run out there and do that. You want to know the components of that, what's in it. They need to dispel that fear. And I know there's an African American woman in New York was the first woman to actually receive the vaccination. She showed courage by doing that. So people would know, she was setting the standard. She was setting the example. And a lot of other people have taken the vaccination. It's just a question of when, really. I think we all do need to do it. It's just when. And learning more information about what we will be putting into our body. But it is a very good thing, a very good thing. And we're happy to know that vaccination is finally here. And it works in conjunction with, on yesterday or day before yesterday, we can officially say all the Electoral College votes are in for Joe Biden, our new president, and Vice President Kamala Harris. It has been officially certified by the Electoral College. And things were done different this year because of what Trump was claiming. So they had to do it live and allow the country to see that those votes were certified. Rashida, are you here? Hello? Okay, if we don't get her today, we'll have to talk about her next week. But I'm hoping that she will be a part. I want to tell you a little bit about wishing each and every one of you all, John and I, a wonderful, wonderful, happy holiday season. That you all understand the meaning of the season. It's not all about going out, emptying your bank accounts, running up your credit cards, and spending money that you don't have. That is not the reason for this season. We wanted to let you know we here at Reader's Choice have items that are offered as Christmas gifts for the sorority sisters, for AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, t-shirts that say, Kamala Harris is my sorority sister. Those are available. T-shirts that say, Black Lives Matters. And I'm going to hold up this shirt here. I don't know if you can see it, guys, but it says, Kamala Harris is my sorority sister. Those shirts come in white and black. And then we have this one, Black Lives Matter, in all sizes. We also have one that is George Floyd, I Can't Breathe. If you'd like to get those are Christmas items. We have the new Barack Obama's book, A Promised Land. We have a book that I will always talk about. That's Michelle Alexander. The New Jim Crow. The New Jim Crow. That is a classic, and it will always sell year-round. We've sold so many copies of that book, and we've had several book discussions on that. We have Bible covers, Bibles, African attire, raw shea butter, black soap, children books, history books, African American art, nice pictures with Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, many others, Black Angels, the Black Family. We have books for children so they can relate to people that look like them. We have church supplies, church merchandise, and anything that you would think of that you would want. We have Greek paraphernalia for the Divine Nine, which include the sororities and the fraternities, Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi. We have Alpha Phi Alpha, the sororities, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Zeta Phi Beta, and all others, the Divine Nine. I may have missed one, but I've named all of them. In those items, we have t-shirts, bling t-shirts with rhinestone, stud stone, and sequin. We have bottle cups. We have briefcases. We have keychains. We have anything that you could really think of. We have flip-flops for the ladies and more. And our listening audience, we want you to know that this show is a work in progress. We thank you for your understanding. We don't understand all things. We don't understand everything. We are new at this, and it is a work in progress. Rashida Strober, I really apologize to you about today because we are not able to hear you. I'll let John close the show out. If he has closing words, we will do that. We'll give John a minute to close the show out. Thank you so much, listening audience. We apologize for all inconveniences, and we look forward to seeing you again, same time, same place, next week. My co-host, John Bailey, has a few words for you.
Well, we just appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we hope that you will tune in again with us next week. And we look forward to you, and I appreciate you. And we'll close out by saying, wake up, everybody.
Wake up, and tune in again next week. Thank you. Reader's Choice is being brought to you. Reader's Choice, the courtesy of Reader's Choice. You are being brought to you. This show is being brought to you through the courtesy of Reader's Choice. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
Good day.